I'm calling the meeting to order. It's now 6, I'm gonna call it 6:15. I'm working to get the Zoom meeting started. I should be there in just a minute. We do have some people that will come in through the Zoom meeting today so that we will have a quorum. We presently have 4 people here tonight. We have Mike Jerome to my right, Karen Schmidt to my left. She's the clerk of this group. And then I have Jeff Noble, who is the vice chair. And of course myself, Bill Gracine, and I'm the chair. And I think we've got things. The internet's a little slow this evening. We're just trying to get on. Now, the list. We're going to be going through tonight. Tonight's meeting is going to be kind of organizational. In other words, we're going to find out a few things this evening. It should be a relatively short meeting. What we're going to do is we're going to try to find out how this hybrid and in-person thing works for us. Hopefully it will work well. And we should be able to go a little more smoother in the next meeting than we are on this one, but this is the first meeting and usually a training session.
Do we have anybody on Zoom yet?
Not yet, it's still working on coming up.
So we don't have a quorum yet.
Yeah, we do not have a quorum at this moment, but we will shortly. Okay, launch the meeting. I think it's coming up. There it is. There it is, join document. Why is it asking me to join? No, join. I want to open it.
Oh, nice.
Everyone's kind of being patient out there, waiting for us. Zoom's been a bit of a challenge, especially when you've got a bit of a slow internet connection. I don't know why it is giving me such a hard time opening.
Is there any better spot in the room, Bill?
What's that?
Is there any better spot in the room?
No, what it is, you're gonna get to see 2 of me on there and join Zoom in. It's the way that it's trying to log me into the meeting. It's trying to log me in as a guest, and I'm actually the host. So the computer's a little confused right now. But we need to wait for it to come in so we can have a quorum.
Yep.
Here it is. There it is. Here we go. Brittany is on. All right. So, join audio. Join computer audio. All right. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Sandy. Oh, Sandy, you're the host. That's why it wants me to join the way it is.
Yeah, but I can make you the host.
No, I think we're okay.
I can make you the host. You
Oh.
should be the host.
Okay. I don't mind. I can be the host. Welcome, everyone. Susan, you won't be able to see everyone at the meeting, but we have Karen is here, Jeff and Mike, Jerome and myself, and Kara Smith has joined with us this evening via Zoom. So we have a quorum. We have all 6 members of the committee. We unfortunately have lost a member of the committee. Tracy Manning has resigned from the committee. So for all of you that are out there this evening, If you would like to, if anyone would like to come and be involved in the Finance Committee, it would be greatly appreciated. You can find my email address on the website, on the website, the Town of Dalton website. I would encourage people, if you have any interest in how town government works and how things like that operate, please send me an email and we can talk about it. So anyway, to get started this evening, we have Susan and Kara. Did you get my email on the budgets that we're going to be going over this evening?
Yes.
Okay, you both got that. Here's the order that we're going to kind of tackle them this evening. Jeff will be the maker of the motions, and I think Kara will probably second them. I will have to ask. Okay, all right. What I'll have to do is when Susan and Kara, when the two of you want to vote, I just have to call your name when that occurs. All right, just so that everyone is aware of who's voting. I have this recording, and then we also have the cable company here as well. So let's get started. We're going to go in this order. It'll be budget 114, 138, 139, financial audit, 146, collector. If you want me to slow down, yell. 151, town council. 154, recording secretary. That's you, Brittany. That's 158, postage. 159, tax title and foreclosures. 182, Development Industrial Commission. 543, Veteran Service. 691, Historical Commission. 692, Memorial Day. 693, Cultural Activities. 950, Commissioner of Trusts. 911, Berkshire County Retirement. 941, Judgments and Claims. 222, Communications. 132 is for the reserve fund, and 401 is engineering services. I think that's all we have listed for this evening. Hopefully we'll get through all of them.
Was that 5-page email to everybody, that estimated budget sheet?
That we received.
Yeah, that should be, that email that you received today should be that.
It was in the package, okay, good.
Yeah, I was unable to get the copies for
Yeah, I didn't get
today.
those
We
over my
didn't have a
email,
chance
so.
to make the hard copies.
Cool, good, thank you.
So,
We should have been waiting for
yes, what?
you, but we should make them all for you.
Everything has been made. We were talking about the Finance Committee worksheet,
The budget.
Sandy, the budget worksheet. All right.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's why we have people here to keep us in check. Now, I'd like to entertain a motion to waive the minutes of our previous meeting.
I'll make a motion to waive the minutes of previous meeting.
Thank you. Motion's been made and seconded to waive the minutes of the previous meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
Kara?
Aye.
The previous minutes have been, the reading of the previous minutes have been waived. We will vote on those at our next meeting. We'll have all of that taken care of. So if we want, we can move on to the first budget, 114, moderator.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for department number 114, town moderator, consisting of salaries in the amount of $421 and expenses in the amount of $100 for a total budget of $521.
I second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the budget for 114 town moderator in the amount of $421 in salaries and $100 in expenses, for a total amount of $521. Wow, geez, we get an awful lot for that short amount of money, don't we? Kara, being that you're a new member on the committee, and for the people out there, our town moderator oversees, and I'm sure if Tony had anything to say about it, he'd find that I was kind of oversimplifying this, is the town moderator oversees larger meetings for the town, such as the annual town meeting, also organizes the meetings and the timing of the meetings, I believe is part of what the town moderator does. Tony does a great job for us, and he's been commended for the work he does for that small amount of money.
Can I just ask at this time?
Yes. I'm sorry?
Jeff Noble.
Jeff Noble?
We can't hear anything. We can't hear anything from you at all.
From me?
How's that? Is that?
What?
Yeah, the microphone, I must have a weak microphone on the computer.
Oh, it's not.
That's gonna be a problem. Can you hear Jeff now?
Hello? Hello?
Finally.
Okay.
I'm happy to come closer.
Yeah. I don't
want to violate any,
you're not violating anything with me. I know you.
So I guess Brittany's gonna have to hear who made the motion and so who seconded.
I'll make all the motions for the budgets.
Yeah.
And Karen will second it?
Yeah, so to just repeat who.
Jeff Noble will make all the motions for the budgets, and Karen Schmidt will be the seconder. Did you hear
Okay,
that?
Brittany, that's what I'll do is, I'll also repeat by roll call, who seconded the motion, who made and seconded the motions. Will that help?
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
So I just wanted to ask at this time, Sandy, can you speak to this stipend being a 2% increase? Are we going to see some consistency in salaries increases?
Did you hear the question, Sandy? I can repeat it. Could you please speak to the 2% salary increase for this? And are we going to see this? Are we going to see this in all of our budgets?
Yes, maybe I'm too loud here.
You're good.
All of the unions are agreed at 2%. So therefore then the non-union members are also agreed at 2%. So yes, every salary line item will be a 2% increase unless there are steps afforded to those who have earned them through longevity.
Thank you. So that's something that was negotiated.
So that was something that was negotiated?
For the union, yes.
Yeah, for the union people, that was negotiated.
Yes, and for the non-union, that was a directive by the interim town manager along with the select board approval.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. All right, are there any other questions? There's no further discussions. All those in favor of of Department 114 Town Manager Budget as motion, all those in favor? Please indicate.
Aye.
Susan? Aye. And Kara?
Aye.
Thank you very much, that is unanimous.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for Department number 138, group purchasing, in the amount of $800 in expenses only, which is level funded from the previous year.
Second it?
A motion's been made by Jeff Noble, and seconded by Karen Schmidt. for budget 138, group purchasing, in the amount of $800, consisting of expenses only. Sandy, this is for the, so this is just for us to be involved with the Berkshire County Group Purchasing Program? Is that?
Correct.
Okay, so this is so we can get all of the various discounts that we receive through their larger group purchases, such as salt, sand, and things of that nature?
Gasoline, oil, diesel,
Okay,
all kinds of different things that someone has already gone out to bid with for Berkshire Regional Planning Commission, and they're all part of this, whoever belongs to this group, there's that annual fee of $800 that you see, are entitled to use the group purchasing program to purchase whatever products they have, which are all kinds of things. Guardrails, a lot of highway stuff.
yeah, highway seems to be the bigger thing that we probably use it for, more than likely.
Well, we use it for, we use it for the oil, for the town hall team. We use it for gasoline, for the police cruisers, and we use it for diesel for all the highway trucks, which are mainly diesel.
Are there any other questions from the committee concerning this budget? It looks like everybody's good. Seeing or hearing no further discussion on group purchasing, Department 138, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Susan?
Aye.
Carol? Thank you very much, that is unanimous.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for Department number 139, town audit, consisting of zero budget.
Second.
A motion has been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt for budget number 139, town audit, in the amount of $0.
That's because we're interim year.
Yeah, I think we're in the off year, correct, Sandy?
Yes, we are. We're having an audit in fiscal year '21, and therefore then we will not have one in fiscal year '22. It's every other year.
Okay, it's on the, so we have one of those on the odd year generally, is that correct?
So should we make it
Yes.
Just to kind of make that a
Yep.
little bit clearer for the people out
Well,
there as well as possible.
the payment of it is in the odd year, but they're auditing 19 and 20.
Mhm.
So they're auditing two of with the ending year being the even year. But the payment of it occurs in the odd year.
Right. Yeah, okay. All righty. Are there any other questions from the committee?
Well, this is gonna come up
Yeah.
again, right, in 2 years?
In 2023, we'll see this again. So with 2022, the next fiscal year, we'll see
Expensing
it.
out $16,000.
I'm sorry?
So we're looking at expensing out $16,000. Do
Right.
you think we should just maybe budget for 1,000 and then the next two?
Well,
30? Or,
The
I'm
question,
just saying, because of the way things are going,
yeah, the question, Sandy, is should we be budgeting it at was it $8,000,
for
Karen?
1 year, 8,000 and now.
$1, or 8,000 one year and then 8,000 another year. And I believe we pay that bill, I guess, all at once, and it generally lands in the 2020, or in the odd year. Is that correct?
That's correct. So
So,
we don't raise anything that occurs in whatever year. Like in FY '22, we won't raise, let's say, revaluation in 1 year some and another year another. whatever appropriation has to occur in whatever year we're budgeting for, the whole amount occurs then. It wouldn't make sense to bring forward an amount of money into FY '21 when no service has been provided.
Right.
Then
The-
you'll
don't
just
wanna
return
hold
it to, you'll just return it to free cash.
Yeah, it would end up returning free
Oh,
cash.
yeah, all right.
So it doesn't.
Well, I was just
it
trying
won't
to
be-
think of not,
It won't get spent, so
Yeah,
you'll pay for it, and you,
right,
it's
right,
just a way of building free cash at that point.
just keeps going.
yeah, yeah.
So really,
Just,
anything that comes into a credit will just gets pushed into free cash?
Right, exactly,
Okay.
exactly. All right. Are there any questions, any other questions or concerns? Okay. Seeing or hearing no further discussion, all those in favor of the Department 139 Town Audit Budget, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Aye.
Susan is an aye. Kara? Hello, Kara? Thank you very much, Kara. That is unanimous. Thank you very much.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for department number 146, which is the collector budget, consisting of salaries of $92,061, expenses $13,265, for a total budget of $105,326, which is an overall increase of 1.74%.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Jeff Noble was the maker of the motion. Karen Schmidt was the seconder of the motion for Department 146 collector in the amount of $92,061 and in salaries and $13,265 in expenses, for a total budget of $105,326. That's approximately a 1.99%, 1.74% increase in the budget. Is there any discussion or questions? It seems like this budget is kind of holding pretty steady. And the only increase is just the payroll increase.
Right. Yeah, because we got the expenditure report, says they're right on target. Right on target, all right. Melissa must be doing a pretty good job over there. Yeah.
Is there any further discussion? No? Susan? All set? Kara, you're all set? Seeing or hearing no further discussion concerning budget, Department 146 collector, all those in favor signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Susan is an aye. Kara is an aye. Thank you very much. That is unanimous.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for department number 151, legal counsel, consisting of $60,000 in expenses only, no change from the prior year.
Second.
A motion has been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt, for budget 151 legal counsel, comprised of expenses only in the amount of $60,000. That is no change from the previous year. So as of the end of January, it looks like we're running a little ahead of schedule, Sandy. Do you think we're gonna have to put some money into this budget?
I'm not sure right now. I do know, there is a lot of, litigation going on. There's going to be a town manager contract. There's gonna be a chief contract. Legal does get involved in that. And there's also, it's hard to say, Bill, at this point in time.
Okay,
We just had the highest bill, that 5,700 you see, that was for, I believe, December timeframe. And that's kind of been the highest, or we had another one that was probably 7, so that one's not in this report right yet. So, it's
okay.
hard to say. I can't really tell.
Yeah, doesn't say here.
Well, our 6-year average is 44,000, so.
Right.
Last
That's what I
year
was gonna
was the
say.
first year we had to put anything extra in it.
Okay, well, it's
The
not,
only potential issues, as you said, is negotiation of contracts for police chief, town manager, legal counsel might be a little more than average, but 60,000 is more than average also. Nobody heard any of that.
okay, Jeff stated that the average is 60,000, or not the average, our budget is 60,000, which is above the average that we use. It seems like, just judging by what we're hearing, that we're not going to exceed that 60,000 with any measure of luck. So, considering that, we probably don't need to increase this budget either, just considering the average. And hopefully, with the town manager, new town manager and police chief coming on board, our legal expenditures will drop a little bit as well, so.
Those will all be this year's budget numbers anyways.
Yeah, a lot of that's gonna end up in this year's budget, at this point anyways, all right? It's gonna end up in this year's budget, but hopefully, there won't be much that goes past into the next year's budget. Right. Yeah. Okay. All right, Carrie, do you have any questions?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay, Susan, all set? Okay, all right. Is there any other discussion from in the room here concerning legal counsel, 151? Okay, seeing or hearing no further discussion on Department 151 legal counsel, all those in favor signify by the usual manner.
Aye.
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 Aye. Carol? Thank you very much. That is unanimous, Brittany.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for department number 154, recording secretary, and the amount of $7,326, which is salaries only, and it's an increase of 1.98% over last year.
Second?
A motion has been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt, for budget for Department 154, recording secretary, in the amount of $7,326, comprised totally of salaries. That is a 1.98% increase. Is there any discussion or questions? Just to kind of let everyone know about the recording secretary, the recording secretaries keep track of our minutes in our meetings, and they also, when instructed, or they also offer to help set up meetings for us, so that it can be, they're an extremely large help to us during this process. So it's greatly appreciated. The recording secretaries are greatly appreciated in the work that they do for all of these. Did I lose my connection?
Got you back.
Oh, I'm back. What happened? Okay. Are there any questions about the recording secretary? Okay, seeing or hearing no further discussion on recording on budget, Department 154 recording secretary, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
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 Susan and Karen. Okay, we have a unanimous on that. That is unanimous. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for department number 158 for postage, consisting of $17,875 in expenses only, level from last year.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded by Jeff Noble and Karen Schmidt for budget 158 postage in the amount of $17,875, comprised totally of expenses.
Looks like we're about halfway through, 9,000 out of 18.
Yeah.
Is there any postage increase planned, from the post office next year?
Yeah, the question, Sandy, is, are we anticipating any increases coming from the post office for our postage services that we use?
I haven't heard anything about that at all. Have you guys?
I don't know, is the price of a stamp going up, I guess is the real question? I haven't heard.
I don't know.
I haven't either, but I'm sorry, what?
Considering raising postage rates, but it hasn't been formally announced whether it's like what the actual part is.
Oh, okay, so they're talking about an increase, but they haven't come down with a number yet. Okay.
Is the amount of mail that we send out postage on?
Yeah, and I do believe that there's a little bit of a cushion in the postage just for that reason.
Uh-huh.
And if you notice on the expenditure report, there is, a little less than half, and that's one whole month.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
7 months here of postage, so.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. We're a little, these expenditure reports that we have,
Right.
which are kind of a running tally of the information, that's how we kind of know what's going on, is we have this kind of a running tally of what's happening out there with the funds, town's funds. And right now, and the ending date for our expenditure report is the 31st of January, which is less than 14, 15, 16 days, 17 days prior to today. And that's 7 months in, and we're right on this particular budget, we're seeing at 49%, we're at 50% with an extra month involved. So we're actually, I think we're being in pretty good shape. Even if we do have a little bit of an increase, I think we'll be okay for next year.
I'm just curious, is the amount of mail that we send out pretty consistent year to year, or is it?
Sandy, does the amount of mail, is that consistent pretty much year in, year out? Is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I didn't know if, with emails and electronic mailing, it would be reduced.
And I think we get a little bit of, a teeny little break of sense, because we use Berkshire, BRAC, to do our mailings. The envelopes are stuffed, but then they're mailed to BCARC, I believe is what it is, for postage input, and there's something else the post office requires when it's a bulk mailing, and that's stamped by someone else, and it's a little bit cheaper than using our own postage machine. Although the cost of that goes on this postage account.
Right.
That's something they've been doing for bulk mailing for about 5 years. using BCARC, which it helps employ those that are challenged a little.
Okay.
So it's a good program.
Okay, the question was raised, Sandy, with the, of course, the advent of emails and things of that nature, have we, are electronic mailings helping at all with the cost? Postage,
As
you
far
know
as I
that?
know, we do not do electronic mailings.
Okay.
I guess that would require every taxpayer, every utility user to have an email. And that may or may not be the case,
Okay.
especially in a town of older folks.
And bad Wi-Fi.
What's that?
And bad Wi-Fi.
And bad, yeah, and bad Wi-Fi.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we were to enter into some sort of an agreement like paperless billing and things of that nature, if it would help us at all, but those services cost money, so I don't know if it would work or not. So, you know, it's a convenience thing, but it doesn't save money, no. The
Right.
banks are doing it, so I don't,
Yeah.
I'm sure there would be a fee required.
yeah.
What's my
Do you have to
view?
get the consent from the taxpayer to be able to accept the email, or can you just, would you be able to just do it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sometimes you need an authorization.
Right.
Yeah, we're just,
Right.
we're discussing authorizations relating to emails, and people would have to give consent for those kinds of things to take place.
Like signing up for electronic billing.
Yeah, you would have to, like if you go to your bank,
Paperless billing, right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
you would, like you do if you go to your bank or a lending institute, any one of the above, you would have to sign up and have an account, and then you would just get electronic billing at that point. But might be something to venture into at some date down the road. Oh, yeah, it's with as you can see, we are all at the senior center, and we're masked, and I think it's the future, is what I think that is, so.
Right, and it would not be just a matter of signing up for an account. You now have to have your software be able to send those out electronically too. So,
Absolutely.
you know, there could be a software cost for that.
Yeah, so it might, that's the whole thing, you don't know, it would have to probably be in a larger volume than however many bills go out. We'll just use tax bills, for instance. You know, if you have, say, 2,000 tax bills go out, then, is that volume big enough to warrant spending the money for the infrastructure that goes along with doing electronics? And that's if people even sign up. Alrighty. Are there any other questions concerning the postage? Okay, looks like we're, okay. Seeing or hearing no further discussion on Department 158 postage, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
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 And Kara? Yep.
Aye.
Okay. That is unanimous. Thank you very much.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for Department Number 159, tax title foreclosure, consisting of $2,500 in expenses only, level funded from last year.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded for Department 158, tax title, or 159, excuse me, 159, tax title foreclosure. The motion has been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt, in the amount of $2,500 that is level funded for expenses in the previous year. Is there any discussion? This, according to the sheet, the budget sheet, this budget is used for properties, for the maintenance of properties that have been foreclosed upon. In other words, we say, for instance, you have to plywood the windows, or depending on how fast things are going, I suppose you pay for the heat to be on, or to have it winterized so that it doesn't freeze and things of that nature before the property changes hands. As far as I know, that's what it's always been used for. I'm sure there are other things, I suppose, with relationship to properties that we've had to use it for as well. Is that pretty much it in a nutshell, Sandy?
Yes, that is. We had one particular property this year where, so we have to insure all of our foreclosed properties. And one particular property had a chimney issue, of which they had to repair the chimney. But we couldn't find someone that would only repair it. They needed to, for their own, how they work, take it down and put it back up to make that repair. So that costs, you see that $1,500 expense, that's what that was for. And you know, it was up on a roof, and we wouldn't use our own guys to go up on a roof to repair it. We had to find someone, I guess you call them masons, right?
Yeah.
To take care of that chimney, so.
Okay. All right, so, we don't, honestly, as long as the tax bills are being paid and things of that nature, we generally won't use much of that budget. Like this one was $1,000, and we haven't even used, at this juncture, we haven't even used 40% of the budget. So I think we're in pretty good shape with that, and hopefully in the near future, things will stay pretty stable with people hanging onto their houses. So,
Well, yeah, these are foreclosed properties though, so there's no taxes being paid on that.
yeah, no.
So,
Yeah, no. All right.
and there are other properties that are not foreclosed on that are in tax title, and those owners are responsible for their own repairs,
Mhm.
but they're also responsible for the taxes they're not paying too, so. So foreclosure is different than what's in tax title. We have a number of properties in tax title right now.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have discussions about that in the future. Without a doubt, we're gonna have discussions about that. Yeah,
I think the tax collector and the treasurer will work well with setting up payment plans
uh-huh,
in order to give them chances to take care of their liability, so
yeah,
that's a good thing.
yeah. We definitely wanna work with people, without a doubt. All right. Are there any other questions from the committee concerning the tax title foreclosure?
No, I just have a question in general though. You know, on the legal counsel, I know these are kind of one-offs that you don't really have a history behind them because they could be different every year. You know, and when Sandy did the legal counsel, she gave like a last 5 years worth of activity, so you have a historical background to kind of go by on some of these items here that could be anywhere during the course of the year. I'm just wondering for next year, maybe some of these items you have more information than just the current year. If they would list down, you know, what it was the last couple of years, maybe help us out, trying to make a decision whether we think it's gonna be okay this year or, yeah, more than the previous year compared to, I guess.
Yeah.
Just a thought. I mean,
Okay. Mike made an observation and is asking a question, Sandy. If it's possible for next year, especially on budgets that seem to be expenditures only, if it would be possible to, like you did with the legal counsel, if it's possible for us to get a year by year of expenditure, so that we would have an idea, and all it needs to be is, say, 3 years, for instance, 3 to 5 years of what the previous year's expenditures were, so that we would have an idea. Like in this case, $2,500, if we look at 1 year it's high, next year it's low, that kind of thing, we would have an idea of what it would be. That would be helpful for us as a committee. Is that?
Yeah, we have that historical data sheet, but I have not had an opportunity to get that all straightened out and set up. So normally that shows the current year, which is what you see on this expenditure report, and it shows the actuals for the prior year and along with the budget, and it shows the actuals for a third year. So normally that does have that, but I have not had an opportunity to get that report set up as of this date.
Okay, all right, so it sounds like we're gonna try in the future maybe to try to get that information to us. It would be very helpful for us if we could get that piece of information, because then we might even reduce the number of questions, would help us out quite a bit, so thank you. All right, are there any further questions related to this budget? Kara and Susan? All right. Seeing or hearing no further discussion on Department 159, tax title and foreclosure, all those in favor signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
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 All right. That is unanimous. Thank you very much, everyone. On to the next.
Make a motion to approve the budget for Department number 182 for the Industrial and Development Commission, consisting of $1,300 in expenses only, level funded from the previous year.
Second.
Jeff Noble has made a motion for Department 182, Industrial and Development Commission. Karen Schmidt has seconded that motion for the amount of $1,300 in expenses only.
They used it all already.
Really?
Or they used none of it. No, I guess none of it. I'm sorry, I read it wrong. Sorry.
No, they haven't-
Oh, yeah, okay,
they
yeah.
haven't-
Gee, I thought the same
Sorry.
thing when I looked at
Sorry.
it. We're not seeing, you're used to seeing 100s over there.
Right.
We're used to seeing smaller numbers.
Right.
Sandy, do they draw the dues for these, like, at the end of the fiscal year, or is it just whenever they send us the bill kind of thing?
I would have expected to see some currently, but I don't have like last year's, I don't have the information from last year. So Berkshire Visitors Bureau, the Chamber of Commerce, not even sure how they're being affected by COVID. So it could be they haven't sent bills yet.
Yeah,
It could be that they'll come in the spring.
okay,
I can't give you that information at this minute.
okay. It was just more of one of those, we want to make sure that it's not one of those things going to sneak up on us. Get to the best,
Well, there's enough in the budget to cover them,
yeah,
so,
yeah, okay. All right, sounds good. Are there any other, this just relates primarily to dues and memberships for the Berkshire Visitors Bureau, the Chamber of Commerce, and some other monthly meetings that are attended by the Industrial Development Commission.
and the DRAO, actually,
And what's the DRAO?
Dalton Redevelopment Authority.
Okay. All right. We're redeveloping Dalton? That's kind of cool.
What's the O stand for?
What's the L stand for, Sandy?
Operations. Dalton Redevelopment Authority Operations. So-
Oh, yeah, right. It took a minute, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sandy.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions concerning this budget? Seeing or hearing none, for department, there's no further discussion for Department 182, Industrial and Development Commission. All those in favor, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
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 And Kara, that is unanimous. Thank you very much.
Make a motion to approve the budget for Department number 543, Veterans Benefits, consisting of $125,604, and expenses only, level funded from the previous year.
Second.
A motion was made by Jeff Noble and seconded by Karen Schmidt for Department 543 Veterans Benefits in the amount of $125,604, comprised of expenses only, and that is level funded from the previous year. Do we have a veterans, we have a person that oversees the veterans benefits, don't we, Sandy?
Yeah, the Veteran Services Officer
Okay.
does.
Oh,
And he's
okay.
someone that goes to multiple towns, and he's based out of North Adams. So North Adams sends us an invoice for his monthly services. And that's what the $12,000 is for. He also is responsible for submitting to accounts payable the bills, the invoices that those who are receiving benefits get on a monthly basis. And that's what the $111,000 is for. But those monthly benefits to the veterans are reimbursed by the state at 75%. And it takes about a year for that to, so right now we're getting reimbursed for FY20. And next year we'll be reimbursed for FY21. And so those benefits come to the town. I don't think it's through the cherry sheet, but there's an actual payment to the town based on what this VSO officer submits to the state.
Is the 75% level pretty consistent?
Jeff is asking if that 75% is pretty consistent from the state.
So it's paid consistently, but it all depends on who is requiring services on a month-to-month basis. So there are some consistent veterans receiving services, but then one or two might hop on, one or two might go away, or only stay for a couple months. So it's up and down.
But they reimburse 75%.
It's up and down, which is why there is a little extra in that in case of that problem. Not that it's a problem, but in case of that, in case 3 people hop on at the end of the year
Right.
and then go away 2 months later, so.
Right.
70,
But the 75% is generally pretty consistent. It's just the number of people hopping on and hopping off. Is that,
Yeah,
am I
it's
following that
75%.
correctly?
if
It's
I,
75% of whatever is the monthly payments to the veterans. 75% of that monthly amount. And
Okay.
that monthly amount is what could change.
Right.
Okay, all right.
so from what I can see, if I'm correct, just say to Sandy on page 4 of the budget for fiscal
Okay.
year 2022, if I'm right for the veterans benefits, I've got 77,633, which she said probably goes back a couple of years.
Right.
So that's
Yeah,
how much was, if I'm reading this right, was what we got reimbursed.
right. So what's happening, Sandy, is Karen is, she's talking to me about, she was looking at the worksheet that we have. And in the worksheet, it was, she saw $77,000 that was expended for last year. So it seems like that was for.
Was reimbursed.
We were reimbursed, I'm sorry, we were reimbursed $77,000 from the previous year. So that seems pretty consistent with what we've been doing. All right,
What worksheet are you talking about?
The one she
Page 4.
sent
page
today,
4 of that worksheet that you had sent
today.
Oh,
today. We haven't had an opportunity to look it over yet.
the estimate, or the state receipts for veterans benefits, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, page 4.
Yes, yes, on page 4, yeah.
If that's what she was referring to.
So that,
Yes.
like I said, could be
Yes.
last year's stuff.
Right,
Right.
Could
Right.
even be the prior year, like the first quarter of the prior year,
Right.
even before FY '20.
Just-
I'm not sure what exact quarters we're getting reimbursed for at this particular time.
it's
So
just a general idea so people know that we are
Yeah.
getting.
that is their
reimbursed.
estimate
Yeah,
for
that's-
FY '22 at this point.
Yeah, what that's doing is that number that we're talking about is, it just gives us a general idea, of course, to the public that's watching, what we're talking about for a number. So it seems like it's a pretty consistent number, and I don't think we need to think differently about this budget
Right.
at this point anyway. Yeah, and presently, it's expended, of course, with COVID, I'm sure that there's been a certain level of demand for the veterans' benefits as well. One would think anyways, that it would increase to some degree through
I don't know, I
that.
think we're doing pretty well with that right now.
Yeah, it is, we're hitting the number of polls from what it looks like. Looks like we're doing really well with it. Cool. All right. Good consistent budgeting apparently. Okay, are there any other questions concerning the Department 543 veterans?
Nope.
No, it seems the discussion has ended. All those in favor of Department 543 veterans benefits, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Aye, Susan's an aye, Kara's an aye. Thank you very much, that is unanimous.
I'll make a motion to approve budget for Department number 691, Historical Commission, consisting of $4,300 in expenses only, level funded from the previous year.
Second,
A motion's been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt, for Department 691 Historical Commission in the amount of $4,300, comprised totally of expenses. And that is level funded from the previous year. It's like they're using, they've had to use up quite a bit. Oh, no, that's how much is left. So I go over it. Oh, my God. Thanks, Jeff.
Sorry, sorry.
Look at that thing.
Sorry.
Oh, wow, look at him go. Yeah, that's in good shape. Actually.
Primarily electricity and,
Yeah, and that's probably, most of those expenditures are probably to run the Who's house, isn't it, Sandy? So far, for the most part?
Well, yeah, the electric is that, the alarms are that.
Right,
yeah.
And some building repair, but, you know, I don't see anything happening right now, so.
yeah,
And the same thing with purchase of services,
right.
and other supplies. So maybe it's not open because of COVID, I don't know.
yeah. I would be surprised, considering the town offices are not open, I would be surprised if that was open
Right,
at this time anyway.
that's right.
Hopefully we could get things back opened up for the beginning or middle of the summer, hopefully. God willing, I suppose. All right. So, are there any other questions or concerns concerning this budget?
Nope.
No.
Okay. Seeing or hearing no further discussion on Department 691 Historical Commission, all those in favor, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Susan and Kara are in the affirmative. That is unanimous. Thank you very much.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for Department number 692, Memorial Day Committee, consisting of $2,250 in expenses only, and an increase of 14.21% from the prior year.
Second,
A motion has been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt, for Department 692 Memorial Day Committee in the amount of $2,250, comprised solely of expenses. That is a 14.21% increase, roughly $280. Sound system wrong, flags, cemetery, engraving.
It's like the cost of flags went up.
Yeah. Cost of flags and grave markers.
Is either more of them or more expensive?
Hopefully it's not more relative, just more expensive. We like people who live around here.
And they pay taxes.
Yeah, especially they pay their taxes, right?
These purchases have already been made for,
So I just have a comment about this budget. So because the flags and the grave markers went up, and maybe the grave markers probably were ordered more than what was necessary. If you notice, his purchase of services of $450 was kind of taken away by the credit of the other supplies, which is the flags and the grave markers.
Right.
So he may need, and that could be simply a budget transfer from one department to another. If indeed he has his memorial services this year, because he did not last year, he may need to have a transfer to take care of a sound system and a speaker for that particular event that's held on Memorial Day. So, but that's something we can talk about then.
We still don't know whether that'll happen this year.
But I also raised his other supplies due to the fact of the increase in flag cost and grave markers. So I'm just making you aware that may be necessary if the Memorial Day event is held.
Okay. So if they, being that we're a little bit, because of COVID, we're a little bit in limbo, and it's going to be pretty close. The Memorial Day, for freeing things up, hopefully, the numbers, the COVID numbers keep going in the direction they're going, that would be really cool, but hopefully. So if we have the ceremonies, we may have to move some money in this budget?
Yes.
All right.
That's fine, we'll deal with it then.
Yeah, we can deal with it then, as long as we can pay the bills, that'll be good. That's the main thing. All right. Are there any other questions from the committee?
so the, year-to-date, we got the 1965, has there been expenses for this year's Memorial Day? Because
Yes.
it takes us through the end of the year, so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the expenditures that you're seeing here are for 2021. And so, and the budget, the budget we're looking at is for 2022. So for this year's budget,
It's already.
we may have to, because of the way things went down, we may have to come back and put some money, or move some money around within the budget, or we may even have to put some money in from the reserve fund. Which would be, it's a good thing to do, so we should do that.
Thank you.
Yeah. The question was relating to our expenditures for this year and looking forward into 2022 versus 2021. So it looks like we're gonna have to do something in fiscal year 2021, but with this increase in the budget, with any measure of luck, we shouldn't have to do anything within 2022, with what we're working on now. All right, thank you very much. Are there any other questions concerning this budget? Okay, seeing or hearing no further discussion, for Department 692 Memorial Day Committee, all those in favor, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Susan and Kara are in the affirmative. Thank you very much. That is unanimous.
Make a motion to approve the budget for Department number 693, cultural activities, consisting of $2,500 in expenses only, level funded from the previous year.
Second,
A motion's been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt for Department 693, cultural activities, in the amount of $2,500, comprised totally of expenses that is level funded from the previous year. These pretty much surround the light up the holidays parade and festivities that go along Main Street,
Which we didn't have this year.
which we of course didn't have this year. So we should, we expend anything?
Got the whole budget left.
Oh, they did have activity this year. They had a Santa Way parade,
Didn't cost anything.
and they had a Halloween festivity. The church, yeah. Those invoices, receipts are in the process of being submitted,
Oh, okay.
and I believe the whole budget amount will be used
Huh.
for 21.
Okay.
all right. Don't we get on
Fair enough, that we
Facebook?
budgeted.
It was budgeted, so if the thing is, we're finding out, even though it seems,
But yet-
just going by what we've been seeing, it seems like even though you cut back events and you cut back things, I'm noticing that it's still, because of COVID and all of that, it seems like everything is kind of staying the same price. We're not really saving any money. even though
Still
people
costs.
are- Yeah, it's still, the costs are all still there. We haven't really.
We spent it in other ways.
Yeah, it ends up getting spent in different ways, which is kind of interesting, actually. You kind of look at the numbers.
They're following the social distancing with the programs that they're putting out, so.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what I'm, that's
They
exactly
also
what
got
I'm saying.
fundraisers To
Like,
light up the holidays.
I'm sorry?
You got the fundraisers that help with the
Well,
population.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that helps.
Which is
They have
huge offset.
fundraisers and things of that
Right,
nature.
it helps
But also,
offset all
so,
of that.
you know, even though the town puts $2,500 toward those events, there's also donations that town, I know I donate,
Right.
and many other firms in the town donate to the cause. You know, all of us are involved in some way or another in that fundraising process. So it seems to me that it all seems pretty consistent. Anyways, it's kind of strange when you look at it, you think, oh, it couldn't cost that much, but in the end, it actually probably, honestly, it probably costs more. That's the reality of it. So, all right. Are there any other questions concerning this budget? Seeing or hearing no further discussion on Department 693 Cultural Activities Budget, all those in favor signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Aye.
Susan and Carol, thank you very much. That is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Thank you very much, everyone.
Make a motion to approve the budget for Department number 950, the Commissioner of Trust Funds, consisting of grand total of $200 in expenses only, level funded from the previous year.
Second,
A motion has been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt for Department 950, Commissioner of Trust Funds, comprised of $200 totally of expenses. Is there any discussion?
no.
It's pretty small.
Please no.
Wow, I don't think we're gonna have a lot of discussion on that. Commissioner of Trust, Sandy, I do have one question. Do we have the Commissioner of Trust? Is there a person that oversees that, or is it, because I know Dawn's name, Dawn Fahey's name is on the preparing of this budget, but is she the Commissioner?
I believe she is. So we were actually, Don and I were just talking about eliminating this budget, but happens when the commissioners of trust want to move the trust money to another bank to get a higher rate, and that bank charges a fee for it. That is for that transfer, let's say. That is where this expense will be appropriated to pay for it. So it's not been used, it's a minor $200, it's a placeholder if that kind of expense occurs.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought it was, it's more of a placeholder than it is anything else. I was just, because it says Commissioner of Trust Funds, there's no salaries related to it, so that was more my question than anything. Was, calling out a person, but there's no salaries related, so.
No, but there's a commission of them
Right,
that
right.
make decisions regarding the trust fund.
Right.
So,
What are
Okay.
trust funds?
What, the questions come up is to what are our trust funds? Roughly, where we go.
Where they
Like
come
the
from?
OPEB
Where they
trust, I
come from,
know
what
is
they
one
do.
of them.
Say that again?
I know the OPEB trust is one of them that they oversee, isn't it?
I'm not sure if they oversee the OPEB trust, but there's a cemetery trust, there's a library trust, and there's a school trust. And off the top of my head, I can't tell you those figures.
Well, the numbers aren't, it was just more of a general question about
Yeah, I didn't know
the trust that we have, that we oversee.
what it consists of.
Right, the OPEB trust is invested in the state, and
I don't think we have much to do with that.
they don't charge anything for that investment. We have reduced our OPEB liability by that investment in the state so that we can get a 7% credit off the liability, just because we're invested in the state and it's doing very well.
Well, that's good.
So our liability, whatever it may be, $1 million, is reduced by 7% because of how we have it invested.
That's pretty significant.
Yeah, that's a kind of a get your attention number, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll go over the OPEB trust when we get to it. That's coming. All right. Are there any other questions concerning Department 950? Oh, we're all set? All right. All those in favor of Department 950, Commissioner of Trust Funds, signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Aye. Susan and Kara are in the affirmative. Thank you very much. That is unanimous, Madam Clerk.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for Department number 911, Berkshire County Retirement, consisting of $528,053 in expenses only, an increase of 5.23% over the previous year.
Second?
Motion has been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt for Department 911, Berkshire County Retirement, in the amount of $5,000,
500.
or $528,053, a 5.23% increase.
Actual assessment fiscal year 2020.
It's the actual assessment. The assessment is based on December 2019 wages. 2019 wages went up 5.23%. Sandy, did I miss something? I've been here since 95.
No, I don't think the wages went up, but they used those wages to give our assessment. You know, the wages may be increased, but it did go up. It's a calculation they made based on the wages that are occurring at the end of the year a couple of years ago. So however they determine their assessment, doesn't mean the wages increased by 5%. But that's what they base their assessment on.
All right.
If you need to know how their calculation is made, maybe we can find that out.
Yeah. I don't like their calculation very much. Not at that level of increase. I'm not liking that calculation one bit. I don't know about anybody else in this room. And on the Zoom meeting, that's not a good thing. 5 point, boy, the amount of noise we make when we get a 4.5% increase from the school district, and then we get this from the Berkshire County retirement. Would that, Sandy, have increased that assessment? Would that have increased if we had people within our departments and what have you retired? Would that assessment increase in that case?
This is based on the wages, not retirement wages. It's the wages of the people that are active. It's not the retirement wages because they're already in the retirement system.
Oh, okay.
And
This is setting,
the wages
Setting
of
money
our
aside.
current employees determine this impact. And I believe it's for future.
this
I think
would be setting money aside for future retirement benefits.
Right, well, now I kind of figured out what it is. It's kind of like, it's as an employer, when you pay, the employee pays so much money toward Social Security, and the employer has to match that. And it sounds like that's what this is the employees pay a given amount of money into the Berkshire County retirement, and then the town has to match that, or whatever percentage, or whatever the agreed amount is. It sounds kind of like what is going on with that, correct?
I'm not sure, but I know that Social Security, we don't get withheld.
Well,
And because of that, we're able to contribute to a retirement system,
right,
and we get retirement, okay?
right. And
So this is basically the assessment. I think over the course of time, our pension assessment, which is what this is going to be funded entirely.
Right,
And when that's
right.
funded entirely, this amount drops.
yeah,
But the basis behind the funding of this budget, when we are completely funded, we should keep this retirement assessment and use it for our OPEB liability fund.
yeah,
Who does it
That's what
get
some
paid?
towns are doing, because they're fully funded in their retirement
Mhm.
account, and they keep this budget to fund their OPEB liability fund. Right now, we fund it with free cash.
right.
And a lot of towns who are fully funded in their assessment, their retirement pension, fund it with that money they used to pay to the retirement account. So
Okay,
it's just an assessment that we have, and yes, we contribute our own amount,
right,
but the town has to play something to Berkshire County Retirement as well.
right, okay. Pays into the pension system, okay. All right.
So that's
I think I finally have a handle on this thing.
We pay $528,000 to Berkshire County Retirement.
So
Right.
it's confusing.
Right, yeah, the whole retirement system, especially when it comes to municipal employees more so than state employees, it gets a little confusing, because you've got another layer in there that kind of throws things a little off. All right. Thank you, Sandy. Are there any other questions or concerns with relationship to 911? It seems like everybody has a bit of a handle on that. Seeing or hearing no further discussion on Department 911 Berkshire County Retirement, all those in favor, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Aye. Susan, Kara, thank you very much. That is unanimous, Madam Clerk.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for Department number 941, judgments and claims, consisting of $3,000 in expenses only, level funded from the previous year.
Second?
A motion has been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt for Department 941, judgment and claims, in the amount of $3,000, comprised totally of expenses. This is just for judgments and claims that are not covered by any of our insurances. liability insurances, things of that nature.
Small claims,
Yeah, small claims, like,
busted my mailbox.
oh yeah, busted mailbox, things like that, I suppose, is probably a pretty good way to put it. I can't think of any other way.
That's one that came to mind.
All right, it seems like a pretty straightforward budget. We haven't used any of it to date,
No,
so that's good news. That's good news. Keeping in mind that if we don't use any of that budget, it does go back into free cash, so it's not like it goes off into the fog someplace. All right, are there any other questions concerning the judgments and claims budget? Seeing or hearing no further discussion, all those in favor of Department 941, judgments and claims, signify in the usual manner.
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Susan and Kara? That is unanimous. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for Department number 222, Communications, consisting of salaries of $212,726, expenses of $12,286, for a total budget of $225,012, an increase overall of 2.03% from the previous year.
Second.
A motion has been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt, for Department 222 Communications in the amount of $212,726 in salaries and $12,286 in expenses, for a 2.03% increase. Is there any discussion?
Looks like a 2% salary increase as we heard to expect.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like we've had the 2% salary increase. Yeah, the steps are the other thing that's kind of raising it. The expenses did go up with just a touch, about $300.
Right.
Looks like it was mostly in radio repair, although they do have some software support agreements they're keeping up with.
Pretty modest.
Yeah, pretty modest increases in those areas as well. And they're right on schedule with their budget, if anything. Now, Sandy, most of this budget is reimbursed, is it not?
Just like about on the
It's on the
page.
bottom of the page.
Yes, so if you look at the bottom where it shows the grant,
Yeah,
that is the E91 grant, support and incentive grant.
yeah,
So we get reimbursed for that whole 153,132,
okay,
which leaves the budget left over of, 71 and 22,
Right.
and 67 and 21. So, yeah, so we get reimbursed by that grant, and,
so,
part of the reason we keep this budget going
Grant
in
reimbursement
full
comes out?
That's what I'm
Yeah, that's what
is in case this grant should happen to go away. We'll already have an appropriation for it.
right,
And the way that we offset keeping this budget is in full is we take 200,000 of our free cash and reduce the tax rate with it. So that offsets the fact that we're keeping this budget in full.
okay, so the money that we get from this grant
goes
is used to offset, more or less offset the tax rate, or to help offset the tax rate to some degree. It's not the whole thing, but.
Well, it's in a special revenue fund, so it's
Right.
not used as an estimated receipt or anything like
Right,
that.
right, yeah,
But in order to help the tax rate, we use our free cash
Right.
right,
some of this budget contributes to, like $71,000 of it
Mhm.
contributes to it,
So she
the free
breaks it
cash.
up.
Right,
And, we take 200,000, a few other dollars from it, free cash, and reduce the tax rate with it. So, otherwise, if we didn't budget this entirely, we would not be using $200 to reduce the free cash,
right.
reduce the tax rate, so.
So she picks and chooses what she uses as a cost to put into free cash? Out of the 153, or is it a steady 70,000 that she puts in free cash?
Well, what it does, yeah,
I
what,
mean, I see what she's doing, but
right, what it does, it's just the money is used to help, of course, it lowers the cost of doing the communications, but the reason we keep it, instead of reducing the cost, the amount of the budget by $153,132, what we do is we keep that budget fully funded. And the money from that goes back into free cash. And we use, what was it, $250,000 or $300,000 a year to help offset the tax rate. And part of it comes from this. Is it 200? Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I don't remember the exact numbers.
Yeah, it's 200,000.
Yeah.
I've got it right here,
Yeah,
200,000.
so that's kind of how we work with it. That helps allow us to do that. All right. All right, are there any other questions concerning budget 222? How we set over there with Susan and Tara? It looks like we are. All right. Seeing or hearing no further discussion on Department 222 communications, all those in favor, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
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 All right, Susan, Kara, that is unanimous. Thank you very much.
Make a motion to approve the budget for Department number 132, Reserve Fund, consisting of $65,000 in expenses only, level funded from the previous year.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded to, the motion has been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt for Department 132 Reserve Fund in the amount of $65,000 that comprise solely of expenses. Now, just to let everyone know out there in the town and so on, this budget here is the Finance Committee has, this is one of the budgets that the Finance Committee has sole control over. In that, when we, for instance, if there is an anticipated shortfall in one of the budgets, the Finance Committee has the ability to use this fund to zero or to make sure that that budget doesn't overrun. All of our budgets have to remain level funded or zero. In other words, at the end of the year, they all have to be zeroed out. So this allows us to do that without having to come back. Say, for instance, we have $1,000, or we just had one there for $9,000 for the police consultant back a few months ago. And we took from the reserve fund, instead of having a special town meeting relating directly to that $9,000 expenditure. In many cases with this reserve fund, we would have to have 4 or 5 or more special town meetings to address those smaller transfers that sometimes are needed. That's kind of what that, and any money that is unused at the end of that year goes back to free cash. The last time that we went over that $65,000 was in fiscal 2015. That was the last time we did that. And we've had actually some pretty big things that have occurred that actually we still stayed under. The sewer line bursting in 2018.
Right.
Then we had some funding that fell short in the fire alarm system for the town hall. So, and we still managed to stay under on that. So with some pretty frugal budgeting on people's parts, we've been able to keep this, this number pretty stable
Yeah, it's good.
over the years, yeah. Is there any further discussion about the Department of Q2?
No, just let them know that there's only 31,100 remaining for the rest of the year.
Right, presently remaining is 30, presently, remaining the account is $31,000. Remaining in the account to get us through to the end of this fiscal year, which is the 30th of June. So that's where we're presently funded at with this budget. Hopefully I don't foresee anything. Do we see anything major coming up, Sandy? It's gonna
Yes.
vaporize our $31,000.
Yeah, and I plan to bring forward 2 different reserve fund transfers, and I had some unexpected illnesses this weekend, so I wasn't able to put forth that.
Okay.
One of them being for an assessor. We're signing a contract with RRG. For the life of me, I can't think of what that means. I know the last one is group. So they're going to provide assessing services from March 1st to June 30th to due to the fact that we have lost our principal assessor, who is a full-time person. We looked for assessing services from, people who wanted to join the town of Dalton as an employee, and we were not able to, twice we sent that out for advertisement, and we're not able to secure anyone, so we went the route of finding 3 different firms that do this for towns, and we honed in on with this RRG, and we need to fund that contract. So I was thinking of asking for a reserve fund transfer, but for not the whole amount, but at least what we need, based on what we already have left over in expenses.
Okay, all right. Well,
And also a little bit for computer maintenance. We're very short on that right now.
Okay,
And until we can hit May and add more to it through that departmental transfer venue, we're probably going to need a little bit just in case for that. So you are meeting next week, right?
yes, we'll be meeting next Wednesday.
So I will have those reserve funds for you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Can I just ask on the expenditure report why it doesn't start out with the 65,000?
A question's been asked, Sandy, why on the expenditure account it doesn't start out at 65,000?
Because what happens with this budget is when you move it from one place to another, you move the budget.
No.
So the budget, so whatever we transferred from reserve fund, whatever that was, what, 34,000 is now sitting in the other departments that requested the transfer.
Okay.
The budget is.
So this will always never show the same amount. It shows-
So that kind of gives you a tally of what you got left too, so.
Yeah, it gives us a rough, but we shouldn't have too much trouble making it to the end, it sounds like. So, hopefully.
Yeah,
We'll
because
see
we
what
don't have to make it, we don't have to make it till May.
Yeah, okay. All righty, sounds good. Are there any other questions concerning reserve fund? We are all set. Thank you very much, everyone. All those in favor of Department 132 Reserve Fund, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
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 Aye. Susan is good, and Kara, that is unanimous. Thank you very much, everyone.
Karen, do you have a summary of the reserve fund transfers?
We do, actually. They'll be in the other
Will
book.
we get a copy of that at some point?
Yeah, bring it in
Bring the
next
other-
week.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what
Email
we
it or
expect
something.
out.
When you send out the next package, email the
Yes.
status report on that.
Yes,
Oh, all right.
we'll put together a status, well, in our next, for our next meeting, we'll have a status, kind of status report on the reserve funds, where we sit with it and where the
What
expenditures
expenses
are.
went out from 65,000 down to 31,000.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for department number 401, town engineer, consisting of expenses only in the amount of $20,000, level funded from the previous year.
Second,
Motion's been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt, for Department 401, Town Engineer, in the amount of $20,000. That is comprised totally of expenses, and that is, it's unchanged. We've used about 40, roughly around 40% of that budget. Yep, well, looks like we're in pretty good shape with it. So we don't really need to increase this at all, Sandy, that you can see coming? Like, go ahead, like, some,
I don't think you need to increase it. Mostly the engineering is put in the contract for whatever work is being constructed.
right,
This is just for miscellaneous little things that come along,
yeah.
that need some attention.
why is it showing 28.4? Instead of 20? Something?
Yeah, I don't know that.
28, why is it showing 28.4 in the general ledger?
Yeah.
So the historical data sheets you're used to seeing only show budget. The expenditure report that you're seeing now shows any purchase orders that were brought forward into the new year, along with any reserve fund transfers that were made. So that was a budget or a purchase order brought forward that increased it by $8,400. So
So we began the year with...
that's how this expenditure report works.
Right.
Oh, okay. So we started out kind of in the, we're kind of behind the 8 ball, I suppose, for lack of a better thing to, we started.
No, we
8,000
started at
out of
The
the-
other way around.
Oh, yeah, that's right,
Yeah,
yeah,
we
that's
started
right.
with more money.
That's right, yeah. I get that upside down there. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All righty. Are there any other questions on the engineering budget? Seeing or hearing no further discussion on Department 401, Town Engineer. All those in favor, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That is unanimous. Thank you very much. And that is our last budget
Right.
for tonight.
Just, if you could have Susan Lombardi just hold that in the meeting. Okay.
Is there anything to come, anything else to come before the committee this evening? Nope. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
A motion's been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those opposed? It seems to be unanimous. Thank you very much. Susan, can you hang on for just a little bit? Karen's got some questions for you. All right. All right, our next meeting, everyone, is the same time. We're going to kind of do the same thing next week on Wednesday. This seems to have worked out well. Hopefully, Carrie, you'll be able to join us here. Hopefully you're feeling better. You too, Sandy. Hope the two of you are feeling better. And Susan, we look forward to seeing you as well.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
just,
Thank you, everyone.